You've built the empire. You've closed the deals. You've reached the pinnacle of success. And yet, something's missing. The cars, the homes, the accolades. They were supposed to bring fulfillment. But late at night, when the world is quiet, there's a question that lingers in your mind. Is this all there is? Napoleon Hill gave the world Think and Grow Rich, a blueprint for wealth, achievement, and power. But in his final years, he uncovered something more, a deeper truth, a greater wealth, a path to true success, peace of mind. Now, for the first time, we invite you on a journey beyond material riches, beyond worldly achievements, to a life of clarity, purpose, and unshakable inner peace. Join us, reclaim your peace, and discover the one thing money can't buy. Think and grow rich with peace of mind.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to this 4-day event, Think and Grow Rich with Peace of Mind from the Napoleon Hill Institute. We are so grateful to have each and every one of you here. Think and Grow Rich with Peace of Mind is all about just that, having peace of mind. When it comes to success, when it comes to riches, we're not just talking about monetary riches. It's not just about the money. A lot of you already have the money. You have the successful career, you have the job, the wealth, the home, but do you have peace of mind? There are statistics that show that anxiety, burnout, disconnection are some of the highest struggles that entrepreneurs, business people, successful professionals deal with. And we are here to help you on your journey. So before we get started, I want to introduce myself. My name is Carla Elizondo. I will be hopping in here with other amazing guests and speakers. Today, we have a powerful day. We have the CEO of the Napoleon Hill Institute, Cleona O'Hara, along with our president of the Napoleon Hill Institute, Dr. Joe Vitale. You do not want to miss a moment of today's event. Be sure to get your journal, your pen, take your notes, share this with any friends that you think would benefit from this. This is our live event that we are going to have for the next 4 days. So schedule out this time. It's 1 hour each day, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. So mark your calendars wherever you are at in this world. Again, share it with friends and family. Download your free gifts. If you registered for this event, please be sure to do that if you haven't already. You can register at the Napoleon Hill Institute, and we have our events page as well. So be sure to register there. Sign up with our Facebook group, our private Facebook events group, where you're going to get all of the bonus material. Make sure you get the replays. And we are also offering 2 free weeks, which is 14 days of our exclusive self-discipline camp. This self-discipline camp is some of the most powerful information and programming that you can get in your life. It has truly saved people's lives. And again, I introduced myself. I am a psychotherapist and a mindset coach as well, which I think is very important and on brand for this event. Think and Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. Peace of mind is everything. Not only am I a teacher here and a coach, but mental health and the profession is really important to me. And so when we curate these events, we really keep in mind the pain points and the things that people are struggling with. We hear a lot that, I have all the things, but I feel disconnected. I feel unfulfilled. Why don't I feel like my life is more on purpose? So that's what we're here to talk about today. But some statistics recently showed that 30% of business owners and entrepreneurs report depression. Anxiety, 27% of entrepreneurs report experiencing anxiety. 36% report burnout. And 12% report substance use. So with statistics like those, I'm sure you see the importance of sharing this material and connecting with like-minded people. Personal and spiritual development is not, again, about accolades and money. It's about true fulfillment. And we're going to learn more about that today. So be sure to, again, silence all of the distractions. get your notes out. Be sure to scan this QR code here to take advantage of the 14 free days of the self-discipline camp. And I'm going to go ahead and bring up the beautiful Cleona O'Hara. Welcome.
Thank you, Carla. Thank you so much. This
You're
is so fun.
I know.
I love working with you, and I'm so grateful.
Thank you. Likewise. So grateful.
This week is going to be incredible. We're going to help a lot of people. I just want to give you a little quick backstory of why we decided to do Think and Grow Rich with peace of mind before I bring up the incredible Dr. Joe Vitale. A little quick story and background. Last year, around April, we were 1 year old, just over 1 year old here at Napoleon Hill Institute. And as a leader, as a mom with 3 kids, I'm a single mom raising my children, I started to feel burnout in growing Napoleon Hill Institute, growing this business all over the world. Even though we teach everything about the mind, I was starting to feel the effects of building a global business on my body, physically, mentally, you name it. And so that's when I paused because, I could keep going, and we've been studying this material for a long time, and I could keep doing what I was doing, but I knew I was headed for burnout. And then I started thinking about people like you watching this right now. And I said, how can we be great at the Napoleon Hill Institute? How can we help people, yes, understand the mind? I think Dr. Joe Vitale is one of the greatest teachers in the world for the mind and spirit. And when you understand these principles, everything gets better. But in order to have peace of mind, I believe we have to join the 3, which is mind, body, and spirit, soul. And so today, I want to go deeper with Dr. Joe. I know some of you may have heard from him, from The Secret, and from many other incredible books that he's written, but I want to go a little deeper with him today. And so without further ado, can we have Dr. Joe Vitale on the stage? Dr. Joe.
Hi.
Hi.
Great to be here. This is an exciting moment.
Yes, it is. It is, Dr. Joe. I know we speak all the time, and I've heard your story quite a few times, but if you will, this week, I want to do things a little differently. I want to go a little deeper, if you're up for that.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Oh, let's do it, Dr. Joe. So, especially for those that maybe haven't heard your story, why don't we start? We'll just dive right in. And before I start asking you questions, how important is peace of mind?
It is the most important element because you're not going to be enjoying anything in your life if you don't have peace of mind. You can go ahead and attract and acquire whatever you deem to be a successful symbol for yourself, whether that is the business that is breaking records, or that is your health, or that is, I don't know, anything that you might name. But if you're not peaceful inside, none of it matters. None of it matters. It won't even register. You might acknowledge it for a blink of an eye and a moment of a second, but then you move on because you're looking for something else to make you feel more peaceful. So unless you have peace of mind, you are actually living in purgatory, if not hell.
Yes, I agree because I've experienced it myself.
Yeah.
The wealth was coming, all the goals, I'm checking them off, checking the boxes off.
Right.
And then I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing? I was on this hamster wheel and I didn't get off this hamster wheel of achieving gold. Let's go back to your story. We'll go a little deeper. I know that you've shared your story about being homeless at one point, and now your journey to prosperity and peace of mind. What was the pivotal moment in your life that changed everything for you? Is there a pivotal moment that you recall?
I don't know that there was one. I think that there was a series of awakenings that over time helped me reach a level of inner peace and serenity that made everything I was trying to do easier and made everything I was accomplishing more meaningful and more lasting because I would enjoy it longer. I know I was living in the Dallas Public Library in the late 1970s as a homeless person. I mean, that's where I went to be out of the elements. They had water, they had a bathroom, and they had air conditioning. And this was Texas. I needed all of it. And I was around books. So in many ways, it was a blessing. I'm a book freak. And here was all the books of the world, and they were free to me. But I was also homeless, no food, no job, no car, no place to go until they closed the doors of the library, and I was back on the streets. But while I was in the library, I was reading. I love reading, and I was reading the success literature. I was reading The Magic of Believing by Claude Bristol, and Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, and How to Win Friends and Influence Others by Dale Carnegie. I was reading the success masterpieces, the classics in personal development. And yet I wasn't happy. I wasn't successful. I wasn't achieving or attracting anything. I was in misery. There was no peace of mind. Now, what these books kept pointing at was me. The books were becoming a kind of a mirror, and they kept talking about my mindset, my inner peace, what I was trying to do, where was my burning desire, where was my ability to make other people feel good, which is something from Dale Carnegie. I was pulling these nuggets from Napoleon Hill and Dale Carnegie and Claude Bristol and the other literature that is out there and has been out there, and we should all read. And slowly, I was beginning to realize that it was my mind that was causing me my hell. It was my mind that was creating my circumstances. This was not easy to take. There was no internet. There was no coaching. There was no Napoleon Hill Institute. There was nothing there to hold my hand and give me that support or to help me reflect in some sort of practical way. So this was Joe scrambling in some sort of desperate, bloody anguish, trying to discover things. One of the first insights was my beliefs, my self-image, my peace of mind needed to be corrected in order for me to move forward in any sort of peaceful way towards success.
Wow. It's so powerful when you had that realization. And most people till today, they're looking outside of themselves for the answers. And since you brought up this, the book, what was it called again? The Magic
of Believing by Claude Bristol.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's so wonderful. And it's so alignment with what I was going to talk about. In the book, Grow Rich with Peace of Mind, obviously by Napoleon Hill. It was the last book that he wrote. Yes. You have one of the originals. I love it.
First edition by him. Yes.
So incredible. If you don't know, by the way, Dr. Joe has an incredible collection of books that would make you cry just to be around them. But in this book, in chapter 14, I'm going to read a little bit and then I want to hear your thoughts. Okay. The magic power of belief. In the power of belief lies the supreme secret. Belief is the key to basic mind power, which turns concepts into realities. Goals can be attained in ways which seem miraculous, yet we use only natural forces available to everyone. Even physical changes in the body can be caused by deeply implanting a belief. I'm going to stop right there because I know some stories about you that you can relate to this and give us examples.
Well, everything for me comes down to belief. If you believe something or not believe something, it's the old Henry Ford quote. If you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. That's powerful. Stop right there. If you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. And what that is pointing to is your belief system. What do you believe is possible? Most of us have very strict limitations on what we think is possible until we get involved in something like the Napoleon Hill Institute. We start deep diving into the mentorship program and all the other bells and whistles and wonderful resources we offer here. But until that moment, most of us lead lives of quiet desperation because we're bouncing off our own limitations. Our limitations are our beliefs. And our beliefs are things, for the most part, we inherited them. We downloaded them from family, friends, the environment, the very culture that we are in. There are shared beliefs in different cultures, and we acquire them. We grow up with them, and we live out of a box of limitations. We live out of this limited universe that is created from our beliefs. So I have learned way back in the homeless days and then through the poverty days that it was my beliefs that was creating those limited experiences. As I looked at the beliefs, and again, I was doing it by myself, so it was a long, slow process, I was able to question them, delete them, and escape from them and break free. Today, I live the lifestyle of the rich and famous. I have numerous things going on. I got my own movie coming out in June, Zero Limits. Go to zerolimitsmovie.com and you can learn about it. All of this has come by the pursuit of finding and erasing limiting beliefs. Now, as I say all of this, Cleona, I want to talk about something else that's in this wonderful book. And this has become my favorite Napoleon Hill book.
Yeah.
He wrote a lot of great books, including Outwitting the Devil, that was published after he passed away. But this book, the last one during his lifetime, 1967, to me is a masterpiece. And I want to talk about something that's in this book that is kind of a hot button for people. It's chapter 7, how to develop your own healthy ego. How to develop your own healthy ego. I wanted to mention it, Cleona, because so many people that get into self-help, self-improvement, and spirituality hear, oh, you have to kill your ego. They hear it repeatedly, and they don't understand that
Right.
Napoleon Hill himself discovered you need a healthy ego, not a narcissistic, not a braggart, not one of those egos that we all have run into in our lifetimes.
Yeah.
That we don't like. You want the healthy ego. What is a healthy ego? It's the ego that believes in you. This goes back to the belief. And this is why I think it's so important, where people think that, oh, the ego is going to get in my way. No, the ego is going to support you and get you to wherever you want to go. And so what Napoleon Hill is saying in this wonderful book and in this wonderful chapter is you can develop a healthy ego. And I want to talk about this for another moment, Cleona, if you don't mind.
Please go for it.
Ego itself is a Greek word. It means I. And it was Freud who popularized the word ego. And of course, psychoanalysis, psychotherapy, and that whole school, there's different views of the ego. And you can go into spirituality. Buddhism, for example, says the ego is not even real, but you're going to pretend it's real in order to move through life. There is the part of you that thinks, I am Joe Vitale. You are Cleona. And all the different people watching right now, you have your version of I. Here's what we want to realize as students of Napoleon Hill and members of the Napoleon Hill Institute, is that you can create this I to be almost superhuman in what it can create and achieve. This is all about belief, which is why it's so wonderful. Cleona just mentioned the belief aspect of all of this. When you believe in yourself, you're actually creating a powerful ego in you, a powerful I. I have said before, whatever you say after I am tends to come into reality. We want to take control of that and say, I am powerful. I am successful. I am connected to infinite intelligence. Another word or phrase that came from Napoleon Hill. So whatever you say after I am in your head is building and reinforcing your ego. And for us, and for Napoleon Hill, the ego is a good thing. The ego is a good thing. And what you want is a healthy ego. I wanted to read one little part that is in this book. And by the way, the book is still in print. Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. What am I doing here? Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. This just happens to be a first edition of it. Often ego seems to have a bit of vanity in it, but it is far stronger and far more subtle than ordinary human vanity. Think of your ego as an invisible part of yourself, which makes you strong and resourceful, or even puts obstacles in your way according to the sort of influence you feed it. Even the greatest minds now and then find themselves with a run-down ego. Truly great men feel this and quickly restore their egos. The purpose of this chapter in this book is to show you some of the surprisingly straightforward ego boosters which others have used, and to give you an assortment out of which you may choose and perfect the tailor-made ego booster of your own. Let me stop there, and I want to share a couple more things here. I'm on a roll, Cleona, so just kind of...
This is so good.
I want to talk about a few things. So Napoleon Hill says ego boosters. And one of the first sections in there, he talks about a man who got custom-made clothes. And when he put on the custom-made clothes, he felt stronger. Was he really stronger? Not in terms of maybe scientific evidence or measurability, but he felt stronger, which made him stronger. And why was he stronger? Because his ego was stronger. Now, when I got up this morning, I put on a t-shirt. The t-shirt is my favorite because it says whatever the mind can conceive and believe it can achieve. The all-time great quote from Napoleon Hill that I thought would be fantastic to share. So I'm wearing the t-shirt, and I could show up here with a t-shirt. Nobody would say anything. Cleona wouldn't say, Joe, you should dress better. Nobody would judge me. It would be okay because they're just here to hear whatever I had to say. But my ego needed a tiny bit of a boost, just a tiny bit. And I thought, okay, I got a lot of jackets. I'm going to put on a jacket that makes me feel good. This was the jacket that was made for me many years ago. I know. Who cares? It doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter to Cleona. It doesn't matter to anybody watching or listening. It matters to me. It matters to me. And why does it matter to me? It gives my ego, my sense of myself, a little tiny ego boost. It makes me a wee bit more self-confident. So when I sit in front of you and I'm talking to you, it's like I'm the authority. Why am I the authority? It's not because I've written all these books or movies or anything else. It's because I put on a nice jacket and I'm acting as the authority. So in this chapter from Napoleon Hill, he talks about other things. He talks about rings. Some of you may know that I have a ring. I'm trying to pull it off so I can show you. It's 2,500 years old. I don't know that that'll actually come in. It's from ancient Rome, and it has the word fidem etched into it. Fidem is Latin for faith. I wear this ring all the time for a couple reasons. One is every time I see it or touch it or feel it or look down and notice it, it reminds me to have faith. It also is a powerful memento for me because Dr. Hulen, who taught me Ho'oponopono, which I've written about in other books like Zero Limits, he held this ring in his hand and said, you wore this as an ancient orator and you should wear this ring always. It'll help you be a better speaker. I don't know if that's true or not, but when I look at it, it boosts my ego. Napoleon Hill, in the same book, he talked about having coins and little reminders. Some of you know, I think Cleona knows this, I have a coin that has a mustard seed in it. Can you see that? There's actually a mustard seed and it says mustard seed. And on the back of it, it has the famous quote about if you have faith, like a mustard seed, you can move the mountain. That is in my pocket. I had a friend of mine who went through a divorce years ago, and I had given her a coin as a gift. She put it in her shoe while she was in the legal proceedings. And she told me later, every time her toe touched it, it was in her shoe, every time her toe touched it, she settled down and had more peace of mind during a treacherous waters kind of an experience. I can go on with all of this because I made a few lists of things. Napoleon Hill talked about having a pen. You can have a pen that means something to you. And every time you see it, every time you touch it, it gives your ego a little boost. Now, this ego is what's going to help you have peace. And you can grow rich with peace of mind if you are actually building your ego in a healthy way, which is what Napoleon Hill was talking about. And also, one of the ways that you can have a better ego or stronger ego, probably the better word is a healthy ego, is by doing something like having a cane. Now, this is going to seem a little weird, but I'm about to reveal to you something I have never revealed before, anywhere, anytime, not in print, not on video, not on audio. I've never shown it. I'm about to show it to you. And I'm showing it to you because this is one of the tools that I secretly have to reinforce that sense of inner peace and serenity, to give me that peace of mind by enabling my ego to be healthy and strong. Again, we're not talking about a braggart ego. Even Napoleon Hill warned against that. He's talking about a healthy ego. Now, most of you know that I was in hypnosis for many years. Even my company is called Hypnotic Marketing. And I had one of the largest collections of hypnotic books about hypnotism and hypnosis, which I sold to Russell Brunson as part of his collection. But there's something I have that ties into the walking stick, the cane, and the reminder of a healthy ego. And it's always behind me, and I'm going to reach for it because nobody here has ever seen it before. This is a cane from the 1800s. It is called a hypnotist cane, a hypnotist cane. There was an actual hypnotist in France in the 1800s who used this not only as a walking stick, but as a tool to put people into hypnosis. This stick, first of all, is handmade. Second of all, that's an actual snake skin. That was a snake. That was a snake skin. Then it's got a crystal up here. And so you can imagine that the hypnotist would say, look into the crystal ball. But that's not all, because the cane comes apart. And so that part just came off. And inside of it is a pendulum with a crystal. And you can imagine he could be saying, watch the crystal and get more tired and sleepy and so forth. It doesn't stop there because the cane comes apart again. I've never shown this before. And inside is a candle from the 1800s. And he would light that. And of course, you can place it there and say, stare into the flame. Now, all of this is a useful, curious tool for those who know about canes. But this is a one of a kind. That's the only kind that was ever made for that hypnotist in the 1800s. And I've never shown it before. So you're on the inside of what's possible. And what is the reason for it? It is one of the secret boosters for Dr. Joe's ego. Nobody even knows. It's behind me all the time. It's behind me, and I know it as a way to boost and strengthen my ego in a healthy way. So Napoleon Hill was talking about different ways to boost your ego. Why? Because a healthy ego gives you peace of mind, and you can grow rich with peace of mind. I'll pause there, Cleona.
Oh my gosh. I think everyone's jaw just dropped to the floor.
I can't believe I just showed it.
I can, because I said we're going to go deep today. I believed, yes, I believed at the start of this call we were going to do something different and you were going to go deeper. And look how my belief came true.
Right.
Wow. Make sure you put it all back together.
Yeah,
nice
I'm making sure all the pieces here. This is a very rare item.
Wow. And let's make sure. So now you all know a secret about Dr. Joe. When you watch him online, you will have a secret that many people doesn't have.
Nobody else knows. Nobody but the people here. Nobody but the people here have ever seen it. I've never taken photos. I've never shown it. I've never talked.
Thank you. I feel so honored, and I'm sure everybody else watching this feels honored. It is a personal thing when we have our healthy ego boosters. It is a personal thing, especially now that you shared this secret. Like, even for me, right? I'm going to let a secret out now in front of everyone since you did it. Okay. So healthy ego booster, I used to call it a trigger. You know, when I worked for Bob Proctor, he would have us study, of course, Napoleon Hill and find our ego boosters. And I love that you brought up the story of the ring. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So the ego booster and trigger for me was the lion, Dr. Joe. And the symbol of the lion, which for me means, you know, the Christ within, the leader within. And if you notice, our logo has a lion in the O.
I have noticed.
Yes. So there you go. For all of you who are watching this, that's my healthy ego booster as well. to remind me of who I am and what I'm capable of, and all of us. Dr. Joe, this is incredible. So
Well, I want to say one more thing, Cleona.
please,
I don't know how much time we have here, but I want to take another minute
we
that
have
I can
plenty
share
of
this
time.
because I thought this was really important. I've been reflecting on the book. I've been reflecting on the whole concept of Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. And I've read the book 2 or 3 times before I even knew we were going to do this and to prepare for this. And I think it's a masterpiece. And one of the things that Napoleon Hill is pointing out in this book is peace of mind comes from your inner sense of doing the right thing. So in other words, if you are doing something unethical or illegal, or you're trying to make money in some sort of way that's a little bit ambiguous or might be something subject to investigation, a part of you is not at peace. And you can't grow rich unless you are at peace. You can certainly acquire some money, but you will probably lose it because you're going to want to get rid of whatever has caused you the distress. So Napoleon Hill is all about finding that inner alignment inside yourself that tells you that you are doing the right thing in the right way. So you have integrity and you feel like, I'm doing the right thing. This is what I believe in. I sincerely am taking this product or service to the masses. I will welcome them paying me for it. And there is congruency. There is integrity there. You have peace of mind. Now, let me give you a shortcut. This is one of the tools that forget the cane and forget the coin and forget all the other things we were talking about, like a jacket and suit and all this. Do this one thing. You know what the one thing is? Keep your word. Keep your word. There's 2 levels to this. One is keep your word to yourself. When you say you're going to do something, you're telling yourself, I'm going to do this, do it. When you keep your word to yourself, you build inner strength. You build that healthy ego. You reconfirm your trust in yourself. If, by the same token, you say, I'm going to do such and such, and you don't do it, you've just told yourself you're a liar. You've just told yourself you can't trust yourself. And you just told yourself, no matter what I say from here on out, it's suspect because I didn't keep my word. So the very first thing is keep your word to yourself. The second is keep your word to other people. Now, this is even, I don't know that it's bigger, but it has an enormous impact because all the wealth you want, all the riches you want, all the things that you want, they're going to come from other people. They're going to come through other people to you. So you need to have these relationships that have integrity. And how do you build this trust and you have integrity? By keeping your word. Years ago, people noticed that whenever I showed up at an appointment, I was early. And I was early because I said I would be there, and I had to be there, partly because I said so. I'm keeping my word to myself, and partly because I said so to them. If I say I'm going to be there, we'll say 9 in the morning, and I show up at 9:30 or 10 a.m., what have I done? I've lied to myself, I've lied to them, and I've taught them Joe can't be trusted. And if that is the case, are they going to do business with me? Am I going to be able to grow rich with peace of mind if I am lying to them and myself? And I want you to understand the deeper level of this. Cleona said she wanted to go deep. Let's go deep. When you say, I'm going to do such and such, and you don't do it, it's easy to fudge. You can rationalize it, and maybe the other person will even believe your excuse. But you have weakened your healthy ego. You have weakened your integrity. You have weakened your bond and relationship with other people. And here's one more thing that's even deeper than all of that. You have weakened infinite intelligence belief in you. Infinite intelligence is listening. And so when you say, I'm going to do something, you didn't do it, infinite intelligence goes, okay, I guess I can't believe anything you say. And in the next breath, you say, okay, infinite intelligence, I now want to manifest a colossal business, or the soulmate of my life, or the better health, or the car, whatever you happen to say. Infinite intelligence will say, you know, you said you were going to do something and you didn't do it before. How do I know to believe you now? And I'm telling you, this is real. This is real. You are listening. Other people are listening, and infinite intelligence is listening. The best way to build that healthy ego, keep your word.
Wow, Dr. Joe. I think a lot of people are feeling the truth right now, myself included. And so we need this. We need this reminder. As you said, if we're breaking our promises to ourselves, our subconscious mind is listening to everything we're saying.
Yes.
And then infinite intelligence, God, whatever you believe in, folks that you're watching, why should we be trusted if we're not following through and keeping our word?
Yeah.
And to our family as well, right? So that's right there. Just take a moment to pause and ask yourselves, me included, right now, all of us, like, where are we breaking our word? Where can we get better if we want to live with peace of mind? And you're right, because we can go to sleep and go to bed at night and have peace and say, you know what? I kept my promises.
Yes.
I kept my word. And I know I can work on that. We all can work on that. So thank you, Dr. Joe. This is so powerful. I had so many questions lined up, but I didn't need to because you're just on fire. Thank you for the truth. Thank you for the truth.
I'm getting most of this truth from Napoleon Hill, our hero here. And this book, Grow Rich with Peace of Mind, may be the trigger for this whole event that we're doing as a gift to the world. And I want people to go read it. It came out in 1967, so it's not all that long ago. And he does talk about men more than he talks about men and women, because that was a product of his times. So when you read the book, just mentally adjust it a little bit. But the principles, the core insights, this goes beyond Think and Grow Rich. Mm-hmm. I want everybody to read Think and Grow Rich, because that's the foundation. That is the basic material right there on the insights on how to attract wealth. That's the Grow Rich part. But in order to have the peace of mind, this inner serenity, we need to do the other work, which Napoleon Hill may not have known about, but he certainly didn't write about way back in the 30s. By 1967, as he's getting to the closure and exit of his life, he's starting to have more spiritual awareness. He's starting to have more life experiences and insights that are on the level of wisdom. Practical wisdom for living in the world today. And so I think Think and Grow Rich and Grow Rich with Peace of Mind are bookend books. They are companion books. You need to read one and then read the other one. And in many ways, this is the practical philosophy that rounds out everything he talked about. Because he's still saying grow rich. He's not dismissing the material, but he's adding in your inner peace.
Yes.
He talks in the book about wealthy people who were unhappy and unhealthy because they had this immense wealth, but they didn't have the wealth of inner peace. And Napoleon Hill discovered, you need both. You do want the wealth that the other people in the world would acknowledge, that's riches, but you also need to have the inner peace and inner serenity and inner wealth. So it really is Think and Grow Rich with Peace of Mind.
It really is. They go hand in hand. And I always think about like mentorship, right? And we have a lot of mentorship here. We have coaches from all over the world that can help you. How do we collapse time? It's usually by getting a mentor. Yeah. And then I think about, even though Napoleon's not here physically with us, he's mentoring you and I through his material. And then I say, okay, how can I collapse time and get the mentorship from Napoleon? Well, I'm going to Think and Grow Rich, but then I'm fast forwarding to his last book because I want to know, what did he learn all those decades later?
Right.
And here it is. You are doing such a beautiful job, Dr. Joe, as the president here, and teaching this material in a profound way. I know Napoleon would be so proud and grateful right now of you. You're such an incredible teacher, and you can feel your passion and the truth and the enthusiasm for when you teach this, because you believe in it and you've lived it.
I do believe in it, and I have lived it, and I'm still living it.
Still living it, yeah.
Because I became president of the Napoleon Hill Institute, I started deep diving into all of his material again. And of course, because the people at the Napoleon Hill Foundation, his older works and some unpublished works are being republished today in many ways. And it's kind of a joke, but Napoleon Hill is being published more and more often since his death
Yeah.
than during his lifetime. But it's a good thing because there's books like the new one, The 12 Miracles of Life, I
Yeah.
think is profound. It's
Mhm.
profound because the 12 Miracles of Life is the wisdom insights Napoleon Hill was having. And he didn't always get a chance to talk about it. Even in this book, Grow Rich with Peace of Mind, which came out in 1967 and he left us in 1970. In this book, he says, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
And I love that. Here is this man going into almost 90 at that time, 90 years old, and he's going, I'm still learning.
Yeah.
That's me. I'm still learning. I'm in my 70s and I'm going, there's so much to know.
Yeah.
There's so much to share. I discover it and want to share it. It's much like the healthy ego. For most of my life, and probably with you, Cleona, as you're growing up or you start going into spirituality and self-reflection, you keep hearing ego's bad. And put down your ego and don't develop your ego or you're going to get a big ego. And that's the mindset that the victims have of the world. When you actually start to become more awakened and you listen to people like Napoleon Hill who found out you actually need a healthy ego. The healthy ego can serve your burning desire. It can serve infinite intelligence. It can serve your big dreams. You need a healthy ego because it's kind of the gladiator. It's the warrior. It's the one that's empowered to go out and do what needs to be done. And with a healthy ego, if you get a bump in the road or you get a disappointment or there is a setback, the healthy ego looks at it in a healthy way. The healthy ego goes, oh, okay, this is the detour that Napoleon Hill talked about. This is the plot twist of life that Dr. Joe talked about. This doesn't mean stop. This doesn't mean give up. The healthy ego says, all right, let's put on our big boots and let's go out into the storm. We're still going for our goal and we're going to achieve it. So the healthy ego is good and it is necessary. And people like Napoleon Hill discovered it and told us about it way back in 1967. Grow rich with peace of mind.
Yes. Wow. This is so incredible. You are so blessed and so am I. It's amazing. I'm so happy that I get to listen to you and learn from you. And I'm sure all the comments are coming in. Everybody's loving this. Let's talk about so they learn about the healthy ego. They find their triggers. Yours is your cane and your jacket, and I put my jacket on too. And so we have our little things that then the trigger goes off and we tap into our healthy, humble ego, right?
Yes.
And it gives us the confidence to show up as our higher self and do the work that we do to help others. Now, many of the people watching this, of course, we're not saying put money last. We all need, I believe everybody should be rich, financially rich.
Mm-hmm.
You will have less peace of mind when you're poor. You're going to struggle. You're going to be, all your thought energy goes on your bills and the struggle there. So Dr. Joe, while our viewers are pursuing the riches of wealth and money, how can they ensure they don't sacrifice their peace of mind? How do you do that as well?
Yeah, that's a great question. And again, Napoleon Hill did give us ways, especially in this 1967 book. But let me highlight a few things. One is you've got to become aware of your self-talk. That is the affirmations you're telling yourself. That is the self-hypnosis. Those are the one-line statements you say very often after I am. But you have to be aware that when you're sitting here, and maybe they're listening to you and I, Cleona, right now, what's going on in their head? Are they skeptical? Are they critical? Are they doubtful? Are they fearful? You want to become aware of that because that is coming from your self-talk. And when you hear your self-talk, you can ask yourself, if there's another part, the healthy ego that's listening to the self-talk, you can say, does that make me stronger? Does that make me weaker? Does that make me a victim? Or does that make me a victor? Does that give me the power to go forward, or does that slow me down because I am being sluggish with fear and doubt and skepticism? So the self-doubt is one of the very first levels. And to this end, I would tell everybody, read Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, because outwitting the devil is outwitting that critical part of you. The skeptical part, the doubting part, that part of your mind that you can call the devil, who knows all the tricks become aware of its tricks by reading Outwitting the Devil. And now you can move in the direction of the healthy ego, and you can grow rich with peace of mind. That's the very first level, is that self-awareness. The second level is incredibly magical. And we all know Napoleon Hill talked about this. Get in a mastermind. Get in a mastermind. Be in a group of people like we do right here at the Napoleon Hill Institute that are all going for the same thing. We're all going to grow rich with peace of mind. We want support, and we can support others in this magical unit that Napoleon Hill called a mastermind. The other wonderful thing about a mastermind is this mystical quality where he said a third mind gets created from the physical mastermind. This is mind-blowing because the third mind is invisible, and yet it's kind of the window that we open up to tap into infinite intelligence with our request and to receive from infinite intelligence its dreams, its desires, its marching orders, its inspirations. So the second thing I would tell people is get into a mastermind. Get into what the Napoleon Hill Institute offers so you surround yourself with positivity. I know when I was homeless, while I might have been in the public library, I wasn't around people that were encouraging me. There was nothing there. And when I was on the streets, the only thing I saw were desperation. The only thing I heard was sadness. The only thing that was around me were complaining and skepticism and anger at the world. That didn't help me get out of it. So it took a longer and was a slower process for me because I was doing it by myself. You don't have to do it alone. That's why the Napoleon Hill Institute is here, and it's here to help you. So those two things I would say right now, the self-reflection and redirection of your self-talk. You're in control of that. May not feel like it at first, but you can learn how to do it. And the second is get in a mastermind, do it through the Napoleon Hill Institute. And then you can start to grow rich with peace of mind.
This is incredible advice, Dr. Joe. I completely agree, because before I got into this material and I started getting into coaching programs, study programs, getting a mastermind, I was alone with my own thoughts, which were my programmed thoughts. And I was alone with, certain individuals and their thoughts and their ideas, their opinions. And so how are we going to grow if we're in the same environment? How are we going to grow? We have this week, this event is so important to me because I don't want to get up and teach everybody, go after riches, financial riches I'm talking about. Go after the money, go after the goals to get more money without peace of mind, because the two have to go hand in hand. And we will actually, I think we hurt people. I'm not afraid to say that. I don't want to hurt anyone. Just go after money. No, because when you get there, as Dr. Joe told us today, we both have experienced great wealth. But when you get there, then what? If you don't have peace of mind, they have to go hand in hand for you to have a beautiful life here on earth as long as we're here, and we have to live on purpose. So we are giving away 2 weeks of our self-discipline camp. And so everybody is welcome to join. We'll put it on the screen. Grab it. It's free. You can join our 5:30 in the morning calls in every time zone. We meditate to Dr. Joe's meditation. We do gratitude. We write out our goals. We study a little bit, and then we go about our day. At 6:30 in the morning, you have gained X amount of hours, sometimes 2 or 3 hours more a day, and you'll be more at peace. You'll be more productive, and we're giving it to you for free. So make sure you join, and it's in every time zone, so don't worry about the time zones. So I want to make sure everybody takes advantage of that. That's number one. Number two, Dr. Joe, you mentioned the 3 books, Think and Grow Rich, and then, of course, Grow Rich with Peace of Mind and Outwitting the Devil.
Yes.
3 of our favorite books in the world that have changed your life and mine. I want to make sure that everybody watching this gets the right Think and Grow Rich. We have to tell the whole world, because the original, I took the cover off this one, but the original was written in 1937, and it's only available through Napoleon Hill Foundation. You can go to their website or on Amazon. Make sure it's the original text. Otherwise, you're not giving any money to the foundation. It's going to people that have copied the book, and I feel very strongly about that. The money should go to Napoleon Hill's Foundation, not to people who copied it. Okay? So make sure you get the right book. We'll show you this, the cover. It's got, do you have it there behind you, Dr. Joe? It's actually right behind you. That's what it looks like.
This here?
Everyone. Yeah, I'm going to make you.
Yeah, right up here. That's the original cover.
That's the one. So make sure you get that one. And it's 1937. And make sure it's from the Napoleon Hill Foundation. Very important. Or Don Green will be giving us a call. We love you, Don Green, so much.
We do. We do.
Make sure they get the right book. So this has been so powerful. We're going to go back. We're going to rewind, slow down, all the gold that you shared with us today. This has been an incredible lesson for everybody watching, and me included. Let's talk now. One more question, and we might have a few questions from the audience. If you do, put it in the comments. We have a few minutes left, but I want to ask about you, Dr. Joe. You and I are, we have our own life. We have our own purpose. And in here we are continuing Napoleon Hill's legacy, which I feel God said, Cleona, this is what you're doing, whether you like it or not. Don't ask me why. And then our story of, I'm like, Dr. Joe, you're supposed to be doing this with me. Let's do it. Continued Napoleon Hill's legacy. But I want to talk about your legacy. I want to talk about what is the legacy you would love to leave behind with all of your work?
Wow, what a wonderful question. The truth of the matter is, I used to hate that question. People would ask me in my late 60s, what was my legacy? And I'm like, I'm still alive. Don't talk to me about legacy. I don't even want to think about legacy. I'm busy. I'm doing things right now. And then, of course, as I hit 70 and started to go past 70, I started thinking, well, what is my legacy? What am I leaving here? I'm moving towards the exit sign of life. What do I want to leave behind? And what I came up with is I want to know that I have inspired the masses. I want to know that I have created books or audios, or like the new movie that's coming out, that I've created things that inspire people to go for and achieve their dreams. And I have done this in a wide variety of ways. Very often in the beginning, it was just with books. I've written 90-some books. Then, of course, it was movies like The Secret. I'm in 30-some movies. Now I have my own movie, Zero Limits, coming out. And then I did it through music. And, of course, recorded 15 albums. Then, of course, doing it through speaking, and then all around the world. I would look at all of that and go, those are avenues of expression. The purpose for me, the burning desire, the life calling, if you will, the life mission, has been to inspire people. And that's the legacy. I'm hoping that people look up at some point and they pick up The Attractor Factor or Zero Limits, or they see the movie or something, and it really alters the direction of their life, that they have an awakening, that they suddenly feel like, I know what I want to do and I'm inspired to do it, and I'm going to go do it because Dr. Joe gave me this fire that's still alive in his material. So I would say I want the legacy to be, he inspired us.
Wow. Yes. And you are doing it right now. And for those watching, you have inspired me, because if you look at my story, how did I even end up here to work with you? It was through The Secret, Dr. Joe. It was The Secret changed my life, which led me to Bob Proctor, Napoleon Hill. But it was The Secret. It was you, your words, and everyone in The Secret that really inspired me. And imagine I didn't watch it. Like, I don't know, would the Napoleon Hill Institute be here today again? I don't know. So you are doing an incredible job leaving a legacy right now and living a legacy. You are. And I'm so grateful we get to work with you, Dr. Joe. I want to ask you, what are your final words? What would you like to share to anyone watching this right now? What message would you like to impart with to those that are striving for both wealth and peace of mind?
Well, you can definitely have both. You can definitely have both. That's the very first thought. And the second one is a reminder that where you're at right now is temporary. It may seem like I'm stuck and nothing's happening, but when you're doing the work, you're reading the books, you're applying them, you get involved with the Napoleon Hill Institute, you use the 3 weeks that are coming up here, and you start using this in your life, you change your life. So wherever you're at, whoever you are, what you're going through is a temporary experience. Life itself is going to change your life and your experience and your circumstances. But when you apply all of this methodology, this system for success, this science of achievement that Napoleon Hill mapped out, and Cleona and all of us are bringing up to date for you, when you apply all of it, you dramatically accelerate your path to success. And you have peace of mind along the way and as you achieve it. So move forward and expect miracles.
We will expect miracles, especially after today, Dr. Joe. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, thank you. I love you. I love everybody at the Institute. And Godspeed to everybody that has spent the time to be here. Apply this stuff and expect miracles.
Thank you. I love you too, Dr. Joe. Wow. We are blessed. You are blessed. Whoever's watching this, I'm going to go back and watch the replay multiple times. This week, we're going to be talking a lot about peace. We're going to be talking about merging peace of mind, your body, and your physical health, and also spirituality, because I believe business is spiritual. I'm convinced business is spiritual. So this week, we're going to be inviting you to our self-discipline camp. Get in there at 5:30 in the morning. You're going to love how you feel. Also, we're going to be talking about an event that's coming up in Mexico. I'm having my birthday in April at my special sacred retreat place that I go to. I usually go a couple times a year by myself or with my family. But this time I'm going to invite people to come join me. I don't want to keep this a secret anymore, but I'll tell you more about that at the end of the week. So make sure you join in every single day. Go ahead and click the screen if you want to join the self-discipline camp in the morning. This idea that came to my mind, and that's when I studied Think and Grow Rich and then Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. I said, I've achieved wealth. I've achieved success. People will say this is, and I'm doing this with a humble heart, but without peace of mind, none of this matters, friends. If you've made millions of dollars, you get what I'm saying. If you've never made $1 million, I highly recommend everybody should earn at least $1 million. Everybody. We are not meant to be poor, but we also cannot strive after money at the expense of our family, our physical body, our health, and also our spirituality. We cannot do it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. And and yes, of course, many people can grind. They can work harder. I know so many of you are watching this. You're a grinder like I used to be. You're putting in 12, 15 hours a day. You're looking at the metrics, the KPIs. You're looking at the numbers, and you're just focused on hitting that goal. That's wonderful. But there has to be balance. Somebody told me one time there is no such thing as balance. And I almost believed them. And I thank God I don't believe it anymore. There is balance. You can have it all. You can think and grow rich with peace of mind, friends. And this week, we're going to show you how to. So make sure you watch the replays, check your email, join us in the morning, and I hope to see you all tomorrow, same time and same place. Thank you so much. I will see you tomorrow.
Well, this is the Napoleon Hill Institute, of course, so we know it's going to be top level, but this event has been beyond my expectations. Grow rich with peace of mind, and that's exactly what we got here. We got tools and training.
The best 3 days of my life. Just being able to hear from Cleona, from Carla, from all the speakers, Dr. Joe Vitale. I think one of my favorite takeaways was definitely the Ho'oponopono and being able to really use that as a tool to not only help forgive yourself, but forgive your perceptions of other people in your mind and be able to move forward with a clear mind and a clear heart.
It's about the frequencies and the vibration that you are in. All those steps where you go from the basement all the way up to the penthouse is literally by your frequency, by your vibration, by your energy, and their steps. So Napoleon Hill, 2024, and here we are learning about him and his legacy, and that's way a better living, and we want to live in the penthouse, or unless you want to live in the basement.
My biggest takeaway was the spiritual love I felt, the impact I felt from Cleona. Cleona touched us all in a way that was completely heart-opening, and it opened not only my heart, and it not only made me see more of what I desire, but it brought clarity and it gave vulnerability for everybody. It's a safe place.
This event is absolutely amazing. It spoke to my soul. This is what we need to do, is listen to our soul.
Biggest takeaway, oh my gosh, when Dr. Joe Vitale was on there and he led us in a, I'll call it a prayer, or you might call it a mantra or whatever, but it was where you could get very still in yourself, and you just, I'm going to call it a prayer. You'd pray, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you.
I feel like what I got from it was it's so important to stay open-minded to things that you can help use to develop yourself and improve your life. And I had an amazing time.
Great information, things that anyone can do to be successful in life. So a lot of life skills and a lot of opportunity to grow. I would not be any place else but here.
When Carla did the cutting the cord, and that would honestly touched my heart, made me cry, and actually meant a lot to me. It was awesome.
You will be impacted, and therefore that impact is an awareness that you now want to step into. It's something that naturally unfolds within you because of the energy, the vibration, and the love in it.